Hey Girl Scouts overseas, it's pop singer songwriter Kristina Lachaga, the girl with the big pink heart. And we are here at It's Cookie Time Somewhere. I'm so excited that you're in our studio audience, and I'm joined by a very special guest. Okay, everyone get ready to meet Alina Morse. Okay, here we go. So Alina Morse is a sophomore high school student. She's 15, and she invented candy that cleans your teeth after a trip to the bank with her dad when she was just 7 years old. Oh my gosh. Type in the chat if you're 7 years old, because that's pretty cool. Her company is the fastest growing candy company in America, and it's sold at 25,000 retailers. She's the youngest vendor to the number one, so Walmart, Kroger, CVS, and Amazon. And she was the youngest person to ever be featured on Entrepreneur Magazine. This is incredible. Okay, she delivered a TED Talk called Why I Eat Candy to Avoid Cavities. We're going to find out how that works. And she was at the White House invited by former First Lady Michelle Obama for the Easter egg roll. This is incredible. I am so excited to be here. Welcome, Alina. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Of course. Thank you so much. This is so exciting. Okay, so we're going to jump into some questions, but before we do that, so what we're doing today, we are getting the girls ready in USA Girl Scouts Overseas for their cookies. They're going to be selling lots of cookies. And one of the goals, well, that's actually one of the things, one of our goals is to get them ready to make goals, create their goals, set those goals. So this skill is all about goal setting. So I'm so excited. And Alina's going to get into some tips and tricks for setting those goals, and this is so amazing. We have such an amazing speaker, so here we go. Okay, so I'm so excited. So to get us started, tell us how you started Zolli Candy when you were just 7 years old.
Yeah, so I started Zolli Candy. I actually have our OG product, Zolli Pops, right here. Zolli Candy all began on a trip to the bank with my dad. And if you've ever been to the bank, when your parents have dragged you there, you know that the teller always offers a lollipop. Now, my parents always told me you shouldn't have candy because sugar is terrible for your teeth. So I asked them, why can't we make a healthy lollipop that's good for my teeth so I could have candy and it wouldn't be bad for me? Plus, you can't say no to it. So after marinating this idea in my head and realizing, this is something that I can make happen, and I was very excited about it. I had asked my dad, he says about 100 times. I think I asked probably way more than that. When are we going to make these lollipops? When are we going to make these lollipops? And finally he said, Alina, I'm working. I'm busy. I got to get some stuff done. But if you want to make something happen, write down a plan. And so that's very fitting because we are going to be talking about goal setting. But I wrote down a plan in my idea binder, which was really just a picture of a lollipop that said like, clean your teeth, but it was a start. And it got me, excited about not only writing this plan, but going to do some research. So I researched online on YouTube and Google, which were my only resources at the time. I learned, by watching videos, how real candy is made. And it was a really cool process because, they make it in these big factories and they make a lot of it at a time. And so it was a really cool kind of experience seeing how the candy that I knew and loved was made. And so after learning about the candy making process, I took just a normal sugary lollipop ingredient list. And I started crossing off the bad ingredients and looking for a healthy replacement. And I did this with the help of my dentist and my dental hygienist. And they gave me some really good insight into what ingredients are good for your teeth, but also edible. And, how I could use these teeth cleaning ingredients that, were all natural and that were used in dentistry, but I could, transform them into a great tasting lollipop. So that was my challenge. And after working on this ingredient list, I asked my parents if I could purchase some ingredients from the store. And they were like, oh no, this is going to be a little bit of a mess, isn't it? But I was pretty determined to make something really awesome. So we got the ingredients and I started, cooking away in the oven, in the microwave, on the stovetop. And I had like burnt sugar everywhere. It was not a good experience. Well, it was fun for me, but my parents had to clean it all up and we had to actually replace some of our kitchen appliances. So it wasn't as fun for them, but I did learn an important lesson that you can't do everything on your own. And, that's so important for Girl Scouts too. It's all about teamwork, all about relying on your sisters, your troop mates to make things happen. Um, and so that's what I did. I went to my parents, I said, this isn't working. Let's find another way to make this candy. So we researched manufacturing facilities, also known as plants. And this was a misconception for me because I thought, when my parents told me we were going to go tour a plant, I was expecting to see a big leafy fern. And what I really saw was a big factory. So, um, it just goes to show I definitely did not know anything about making candy. But I was just really determined to make something happen. So we toured a bunch of different manufacturing facilities until we finally found one that could create a healthy lollipop. Um, and there we worked with a food scientist and formulated a really awesome product. And after taste tests and taste tests and taste tests, which most of them were not very good, we finally created, a great tasting candy that actually cleans your teeth. So that's how it all began. And about 5 years later, we have a whole line of products. We have Zolli Pops, we have Zappy Taffy, which is just a clean teeth taffy that doesn't stick to your teeth. That was a must for me because I had braces for like 4 years. So taffy was a no-no until Zolli or Zappy Taffy came along. It took some workshopping to actually create a whole different candy, but it was worth it. And then our new product, Zolli Caramels.
Yes, I
Which you
have
can
them
see in
right
the little
here.
pocket there. Yes, and they're my absolute favorite. They're so good. And all of our products are sugar-free, all natural, keto, diabetic friendly. They're free of the top 7 allergens. So we wanted to create, a product that everyone can enjoy and, really be all inclusive with keeping people smiling.
Oh my gosh, you are so incredible. And honestly, I just loved hearing your story. And it was so cool to think how young you were when you were taking on this big project, taking on these big goals, and taking on, honestly, like your future so early on. That's incredible. So go you. Um, so how did you go from having this, you had this idea, you went to all these different plants and you found a place to have to make your candy. So how did you go from that to being the best-selling sugar-free healthy candy in the United States? What were the steps? What were some of the goals you had to hit to make those things happen?
Yeah, so I had a goal very early on, um, that, I wanted to create something that could be enjoyed by everyone. And so, throughout the whole process, it was definitely tricky to not only perfect a sugar-free lollipop because, when you think of sugar-free candy, you kind of think of grandma's purse candy, hate to say it, but Zolli candy is fun, it's bright, it's delicious. And so I wanted to create something that, you know, embodied kids and fun. And that wasn't, grandma's purse candy, but it was just like normal candy. It just was good for you. And so that was very tricky. But after, so much work and a lot of mentorship from the people at the manufacturing facility, and people that we met along our journey, we finally, created something awesome. And so, from that point, we created the packaging, we created the graphics, and we pitched our very first retailer, Whole Foods Markets,
Oh, wow.
in California. So it was very, very cool to go into my first business meeting with my first ever product at like 9 years old. And I
Oh,
think back and I was very, very nervous.
yeah.
Um, but I have a like I guess you could say a background. I mean, I haven't really even been alive that long, but I had always, from a young age loved theater and singing and performing. And I still am a competitive dancer. So
That's so
I
amazing.
loved, being in the spotlight, if you will. So pitching this retailer was just like, learning my lines and saying them on stage.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty natural for me, but I was definitely very nervous because, something that you spend 2 years working on, it's definitely, you want to get a good reaction. And we did. We got into their stores. Um,
Wow.
and from there, we got on Amazon.com, we got into CVS and Walgreens and Walmart, and also internationally in China and Korea and France, the Philippines, the UK, Germany. And so it's been a pretty crazy roller coaster. But a lot of our supporters have been moms and families. And that word of mouth really helped take us from a nobody company, nobody knew of us, to, somebody who can compete with the sugary candies that have been around for, 70 years. And so, we're right up there selling with them. And that proves, if you have the passion and you have the drive, and you have an awesome team around you and supporting you, then you really can do anything.
That's amazing. So I'm known as the girl with the big pink heart, and I tell my fans called Heartbreakers to always follow your heart's dream. And I think you are a perfect example of somebody who is doing that. And to prove that you can go get this candy wherever you are, I went to CVS and I found, let's see, I found Zolli Pops, I found Zolli Caramels, and I found Zaffy Taffy. So yeah, those are honestly, I'm so excited to try them. They make so much noise to open on the camera, but I'm so excited to try them. They honestly, when I saw the packaging, it's so bright, it's so colorful, and it makes you want to go grab it, and it's healthy for you. It's good for you. So I also heard that not too long ago, well, a little over 8 years ago, you were a Daisy Girl Scout. Do you want to show everyone your vest?
So my Daisy vest from kindergarten that I
Oh
still have
my gosh,
for all these years, I have all my little
your
badges for selling
patches.
cookies.
Oh my goodness.
And it's funny that it was in a very accessible place for all these years later. I knew exactly where it was,
It was meant to
and so I
be.
thought it was so cool. Yeah, kind of a little vintage vest. I mean, I guess I'm
Yeah,
sure your guys's are a little bit more updated,
they have actually,
but
you know what? They
I
released
mean,
some new versions for yeah, if you go on like the Girl Scouts, yeah, they released some new versions, but I think the daisies are pretty similar still. It's really cute.
well, yeah, and I
And
have
your earrings.
my daisy earrings that match. So, I mean, you could
Love it.
say I still am a daisy at heart, but I definitely you know really loved being a daisy. But unfortunately, I couldn't continue with my Girl Scout journey because of Zolli Candy, and I got busy.
No,
But
it's all good. You know
um,
what?
I'm still a daisy at heart.
Exactly. No, you are. And you know what? You're showing it off with your passion for fashion with your earrings. And I even spotted a cookie booth patch on the back. So that was pretty cool.
Oh
So we're
yes,
gonna
yes, I was a very serious cookie salesperson. I think it definitely contributed to my selling abilities today, which, if I do say so myself, they're pretty good.
Yes,
So,
no, I agree. I think they're good. I think you could sell us anything. I love it. So we're gonna ask you, since we know that you are, you're official, you were a Girl Scout. So we're gonna ask you some tips and some advice that you would give to our Girl Scouts that are going to be going out there, either depending on, so with the pandemic we have different things that are going to be going on. So some girls will be able to have cookie booths, some girls will be doing online sales via digital cookies, some might be doing both. So what are some different tips that you would give girls, whether they're interacting in person or interacting online, to help reach those big cookie sales goals?
Yeah, well, I would say, from my nerdy business side, digital cookie sales is going to be booming this year because everyone loves to shop online. I love to shop online.
Same.
We actually created an online Zolli Candy shop during the pandemic. We created our very own Zolli Candy site so we can sell direct now, which was something we had never done before. So shifting to digital sales is definitely up and coming. But I would say, my biggest tips, well, my tips for anyone who wants to sell anything, you know, you you learn from everyone around you, especially, you can learn from your fellow Girl Scouts, regardless if you're in person watching them or if you're online talking to them over the phone. Um, and so, always just being aware of the selling tactics that other people are using, um, and not stealing them, but making them your own. Taking that idea and saying, well, if I mix this with what I'm already doing, this could be very successful. And don't be closed-minded. Just be open-minded to the different possibilities, the different techniques, the different ways that you can better your business, better your sales. Um, I just think it's so important to always be willing to learn something new. Um, and especially, when you're a Girl Scout and you have this awesome troop of girls around you, why not try to learn from them and try to, you know, not only learn from them, but you can teach them as well. So I think that's really awesome. And I just love the teamwork aspect of being in a Girl Scout troop. Because you really are like sisters and you all can support each other and you'll receive that support in return. And so that will definitely drive you to be a better Girl Scout, a better friend, and a better salesperson. So always support each other, always support others. With this online event, it's so awesome that this is connecting Girl Scouts from you know Asia
Over the world,
to,
right?
yeah, exactly, to every corner of the world. And that's so awesome that you all have something in common. You're all Girl Scouts. You're all part of the same big family. And I'm part of it too.
Woo!
So
Right?
so it's
Former
it's
Girl Scout,
really,
lifetime member.
exactly. It's such a cool opportunity to, learn from each other and support each other. And I would say, finally, just work hard. Don't let yourself get discouraged. And don't let, others around you get discouraged. So, just it's all about supporting each other and keeping your spirits high because, you never know. You never know who could need a smile. So always spread smiles, always spread support. Um, and yeah,
That's incredible advice, honestly. And I think what's so important about what Alina's discussed and really touched upon was the aspect of teamwork. And I know a lot of Girl Scouts overseas. I know we have some Girl Scouts tuning in from the US, but we have a lot of Girl Scouts overseas tuning in. And what's really cool is that you're doing your cookie sales as a team, versus maybe just doing it individually. So what's really cool about that is that you should take Alina's advice about supporting each other and working hard and coming together to achieve your goals. So what are some tips that you would, I'm sure in Zolli Candy you have a team around you that you're working with. What are some ways that you would motivate each other to achieve group goals?
totally. So, at Zala Candy, we have, a really incredible team that is devoted to spreading smiles and, sharing the importance of keeping your smile not only protected, but also, using it for good, spreading kindness and good vibes. So I think it's so important, especially for our team, there shouldn't be a hierarchy. And it's the same thing, with Girl Scouts, you're all equals. You're all trying to achieve the same goal. And that's why, it's so important to, like I said before, support each other, and treat each other, with respect and kindness. And, if you want to achieve those group goals it's just important to, take them seriously. And, you're not only working hard for yourself, but you're working hard for your team. And so being a part of the team means just that, working hard for each other. And I would say, our team sets group goals all the time, and we're always communicating and we're always talking. And that's, so important to be in communication with others, because, if you assume something and you happen to be wrong, you're going to feel like, oh, well, if I had just talked to someone or I just asked a question, then I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be in this situation. But if you communicate with each other and, you use the resources that you have, which are each other, to your advantage, you'll get so much further than just trying to be the Lone Ranger and, work by yourself. So, constantly setting goals, and just a general goal setting tip, always write them down. You can have goals up here, but you got to write them down. You got to, hold yourself to those goals. What I like to do is I like to write down the goal, and then I like to write down a little box next to it so that I can just check it off. Now I don't have to cross it off. I don't want to cross it off because I want to remember my goals, but it kind of holds me to it a little bit more if I have a little box next to it. So I get the satisfaction of doing the little check mark. And as simple as that is, it really gives you more, satisfaction when you've achieved your goal and you're like checking it off the list, on to my next goal. And so, just a general goal setting tip, that's something that helps me. And that's something that we do at the Zolli Candy office on our whiteboard, one of our many whiteboards. So we definitely live by that goal.
That's amazing. Yeah, I do the same thing. I have every day I set goals that I have, things I want to do that day, and every day it's so satisfying to check that off. So I totally agree with that. So before we let you go, I got two more questions for you. So we love how you use your smiles for good. So I want you to tell us a little bit more about your Million Smiles initiative.
Yeah, so the Million Smiles Initiative is our nonprofit, that is in coalition with our company. And so the Million Smiles Initiative, like I said, is powered by Zolli Candy. So teachers, principals, educators can sign up on our website, zollicandy.com, and they can sign up under the Million Smiles tab to get free Zolli Candy for their entire school. So the Zolli Candy is all donated by the company, and then we send it to schools all across America. It's a very important program for us because, in school you learn about science and math and reading and all of those important life skills, but you also should learn about, proper oral health care, taking care of your smile, the importance of not only taking care of your smile for a health reason, but because smiles have such amazing powers. If you're ever having a bad day and somebody smiles at you, doesn't matter if they're a random person or your best friend, somebody smiles at you and then, you're filled with joy, you're filled with happiness. It can change the course of someone's day. And so smiles really do have amazing powers. And at Zolli Candy, we want to educate kids and families, about, how they can protect their smiles. And with Zolli Candy, they can protect their smiles for years to come. So if you're a teacher or an educator, or a teacher or an educator, let them know to sign up for free Zolli Candy. Takes 5 minutes, and it's a really rewarding program. We've built it up from 250,000 smiles or 250,000 lollipops, when we first started the company all those years ago, and now we're at 4 million smiles. So 4 million lollipops a year.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Okay, well, before we go, I have to try one of these, so I am going to break it open.
I'm trying one with you, except I've been eating it the whole time.
Okay, which one's the best one? Well, I like pink.
Depends on what your favorite flavor is.
I have to go with pink. Okay, here we go. That's delicious. These are so good. Okay, Girl Scouts, you have to go check out Zolli Pops and all her other amazing flavors. So we got Zolli Caramels and we have Zappy Taffy. Go check it out. So where can everyone follow you and stay connected with Zolli Candy and Alina Morse?
So you can stay up to date on all the latest Zolli news on our Facebook page or our Instagram page. They're both at Zolli Candy. That's ZOLLICANDY, all one word. And you can stay updated with me and what I do in my daily life as an entrepreneur and a student and a past Girl Scout on my Instagram at Alina Star Morse, and that's star with 2 R's. Yes, that's my real name.
I love it. It's so pretty.
Thank you so much. And you can, of course, pick up Zolli Candy from all the retailers mentioned today, but we also sell abroad in countries all across the world, including China, Korea, France, Germany, the UK, and on iHerb.com and Amazon.com. So you can check that out from wherever you are. And we actually have brand new Zolli bins, which are perfect for, we just released these. These are perfect for Girl Scout troops. We
Yes.
have them in our Zolli Pops Tropical, which are brand new flavors,
Oh, cool.
and our original Zolli Pops. So these all come with a coupon if you purchase them on our Zolli Candy Shopify, which is Zolli Candy at myshopify.com. So you can save by purchasing today. And keep smiling, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the rest of this awesome event. And yeah, keep smiling.
Thank you so much, Alina. Oh my gosh, we're going to head to a commercial break right now, but we'll see you in a minute.